one thing that I'm seeing is that we're slow. The offensive line is slow, but we're supposed to have a skill set where we're supposed to be fast, and we're not. Some of that is that we're trying to get in shape. Some of it is that we're a little bit older. And a lot of it is that defense understand that we're trying to get to the edge. We're trying to get there. So the aiming point, stretching and crossing face and getting outside, it's harder to do. So one thing that I've seen that Kyle is doing, which is really nice, is that he's picking and hinging with it's kind of like some gap scheme principles that he's putting into the offensive line that's really giving them a chance to be physical immediately. It gives them a chance to be productive, and it takes a lot of wear and tear off of their legs. So they're not necessarily running from sideline to sideline. I saw the first couple of plays of it in the first drives of the first half against Tampa. Then they actually went crazy with it, where they were doing full pick and line hinges, and it worked really well. They're gaining confidence because of it. It helps players like Jake Brindle, where he has a hard time kind of getting out in space and being physical with faster linebackers. Dominic Pooney and Colton McKivitz love it because leverage wise, they're always blocking the backside. So a pick and hinge is always good for them, blocking defenders that are all in the backside of their face. It helps Aaron Banks and Trent Williams in tandem because they don't have to worry about getting to the edge. They can worry about crack toss. Not crack toss, but crack with Jawan Jennings and possibly Kyle Juszczyk coming on the outside. So I like it. And they've been doing a really good job with it thus far. For me, I watched the last couple of games in the offensive line, and some of it was tough sledding, but moving forward game by game by game, they progressed every game. Our offensive line quietly is our strongest unit on the football team, in my opinion.
Let me ask you this about the offensive line, because you watch it much closer than I do. You have much more of an understanding than I do as a former player and coach of the offensive line in particular. We all know Dominic Pooney's having a great year. Borderline, maybe an all-pro. I mean, he's one of the best guards in the league. It seems to me that quietly, Aaron Banks is having a good year too. I mean, he's not as good as Pooney, but what do you see? Maybe I'm wrong. What are you seeing from Banks?
I don't think Aaron Banks is having that good of a year. Okay. For me, I think that Aaron Banks is just having issues with his body. I don't know if he's necessarily playing healthy. I don't think that he's 100% healthy.
Well, he's on the injury report right now with the quad.
Okay, and that makes sense. I feel bad now because I was definitely going after his legs and his feet in his pick and hinge and some of the things that he was doing to kind of, kind of cut corners, if you will. One thing that I see about him is that if he is playing with a lot of injuries, then he's doing an amazing job playing with the weapons that he does have. He's not doing a good job using his hands, especially his play side hand, particularly his left hand. Is not as strong. Pad level seems to be a problem with him going to the
from the coach right there. Where are you going to get that from anyone else? His left hand isn't as strong. I love that.
We're just watching film.
Yeah.
Him getting to
anyone level, can watch film. Not everyone knows what to look for. That was dope. Anyway.
Thank you.
But that's why you're at 10K, for being frank.
Yeah. Nah, man. It's interesting to me. What I will say is that he is a big body. He moves well, but his pad level is just something that, leaves much to be desired. If he gets a linebacker who's willing to fight at the second level, there's really not a lot that Aaron Banks brings to the party. He's a lunger, a little bit of a waist bender, but I want to give him some credit now and shoot him some bail because I didn't know that he had a quad injury. So when you got a quad injury, you're not going to necessarily be that apt to bend. But that's one thing that I will see, that I do see a lot from him in a lot of film right now. Pass protection wise, though, he's good. He's a better pass protection, better in pass pro than he is in run protection, in my opinion. He's strong. He will get in front of a body, but he just doesn't bring his feet sometimes in. He sacrifices technique with keeping his hands too high. He's not a good relocator. When he gets beat to the punch, when his man gets a long arm or it gets on the inside of him. But one thing I will say is that he's a wide body. He is smart. I don't see him make a lot of stupid plays where he just doesn't understand what's going on. But he is a plus athlete. Somebody will take him as a starter, but we can do better. We can get a young guy in there.
Yeah, they're not re-signing him. He's going to be somewhat expensive. And as you said, you just destroyed him, which is fine. But the reason I like him is because he's from the Bay. It's the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
That goes a long way for me.